Hello, dear students. I heartily welcome you all in this video lecture series on structure analysis 1. So, as you know that we have started series on module 2, that is direct and bending stresses. So, in this lecture number 2 on this module, we will discuss about direct and bending stresses in column, in which we are going to discuss about stress distribution at the base of the column. Okay, and this session will cover the following points, that is we will discuss stress distribution in column and also limit of eccentricity, that is E limited, and further we'll discuss about numericals on maximum and minimum stresses. So what we'll get after the completion of this session? So after the completion of this session, you would be able to understand stress distribution and also can understand effect of eccentricity on column and also minimum eccentricity. So let's start our discussion. So this stress distribution in column, you know that is depends on the external loading on the column. So as the load P on the column moves from the center of the column to the edge of the column, as shown in the figures, the stress distribution will vary. That is based on the axial condition and eccentric condition of the loading. The stress distribution at the base of the column will change likewise. So in figure 1 you can see that the load is acting axially, that is P is acting along the longitudinal axis of the column, or on the top face of the column, that is on the edge of AB. Okay, so due to this axial loading, the stress distribution will be simple due to the direct stresses only, and the final distribution will be simple rectangular, or sigma minimum and sigma maximum will be equal due to the axial loading condition. So if this load moves from the longitudinal or central axis of the column towards the edge, you can see in the figure 2, P is acting at an eccentricity E from the axis, then such eccentricity of the loading will cause change in stress distribution diagram. So at the base, the stress distribution diagram will move from the rectangular to the simple trapezoidal shape. So the edge of the column near the point of application of loading will show maximum sigma maximum stress, and the opposite edge will show minimum stress. Okay, because as we know that the final stresses are just the sum of the direct and bending stresses, or the difference of the direct and bending stresses. So due to this moment it will change. Now if we further increase the eccentricity of the loading, the up to a certain limit, such that the sigma minimum will becomes 0, or the point up to which the direct and bending stresses will become equal, then such point of eccentricity is termed as limited eccentricity. So at this point the sigma minimum will be 0. So and this diagram of this stress distribution will be changed as shown in the figure, that is simple triangular shape. Okay, now after the movement of load beyond this limited eccentricity will produce tension at the base of the column. So in the figure 4 you can see, as the load is moves from the central axis to the one of the edge of the column beyond the limited eccentricity E, then it results in change in shape of the stress distribution at the base of the column. Okay, and the stress distribution diagram will be like this, that is in such case sigma B, that is bending stresses, will be more than the direct stresses, which results in negative stresses at one of the edge of the column, and there will be tensile stress at one of the edge of the column. You can see this eccentricity is increase beyond the E limited, which results in the sigma minimum as a tensile stress or negative stress at the base of the column. So likewise, based on the movement of the loading from the central axis to the towards the edge of the column, the stress distribution will changes. Now what is meant by this limit of eccentricity? So this E limited is nothing but the maximum distance of the load from the center of column, such that if load acts within this distance, there is no tension in the column, and this maximum distance will be termed as limit of eccentricity. Okay, now we have to remember these points, that when the load is acting within the limited eccentricity, then sigma minimum will be compressive or positive, and if the load is acting just at the point of limited eccentricity, the sigma minimum will be 0. Okay, there will be no tension condition. Now if the load is acting beyond this point of E limited, okay, then sigma minimum will become negative or tensile. So we should remember that for the no tension condition, sigma minimum will be equals to 0, or direct and bending stress will be equals to 0. Let's solve a numerical. So you can see the numerical. A column of T section as shown in the figure is subjected to a load of 100 kilonewton at a distance of 40 mm below the central axis. We have to calculate maximum stresses induced in the section. So let's summarize the given data. So what is given? P is 100 kilonewton and eccentricity of the loading as a E equals to 40 mm, and diagram will be like this, which is given. Flange has 200 mm width and thickness 20 mm, and web has 180 mm depth and thickness as 15 mm. Okay, now let's divide this T section into two parts, so that we can easily find the centroidal distance or distance of x-axis from the base. Okay, so for part 1 let it be flange, and part 2 let it be web. So area of flange will be A1 equals 20 into 200, that is equals to 4000 mm square, and Y1 will be this 180 plus 20 by 2 from the base of the section, it will give 190 mm. Okay, now for part 2 let it be web. So area of web will be simply this depth multiplied by the thickness of the web. So for part 2, A2 will be equals to 180 multiplied by thickness 15, which gives 2700 mm square area of the web, and Y2 will be simply half of the depth, that is 180 by 2, which gives 90 mm. So we know that, as we have already discussed in previous subject, that is strength of material, how to find the position of central axis. So this distance of x-axis from the base, can let it be y bar. So to find this y bar, we know that the formula is summation of product of ay to the summation of a will give the y bar. So we will write the formula as y equals to, or y bar equals to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. Okay, so a1 we have found 4000 mm square, a2 2700 mm square, and y1 and y2 as a 190 and 90 mm respectively. So by simply putting the values, you will get the answer. So just solve it in your calci, you will get the answer. Solve it fast. So by using operating calci, we will get answer as y bar equals to, yes, 149.70. Okay, everyone got this answer? 149.70 mm. So note it down fast. So in this session we have discussed stress distribution diagram, limited eccentricity, okay, and we have just started solving a numerical in which we have to find maximum stresses induced in this section. So this numerical will continue in the part 2 of this lecture. Okay, so we'll see you in part 2, in which we are going to discuss how to find the maximum stresses in the column. Thank you.